everybody, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. So today's video is just going to be a talking video, but I'm gonna try and make it interesting because I have a lot to say, but I could not find the items that I was talking about. But today's video is going to be how to introduce mice. Now, I wish I was actually introducing mice right now, but when I am introducing mice, it's a very stressful time for me, and I will get into that. So, not introducing mice and doing this video, but I also don't have any mice to introduce. But anyway, so today's video is going to be going over kind of tips of like how to introduce them. I have some footage of when I did introduce my mice. I have introduced mice 2 times. I had 3 mice, meaning 3 mice. So that was Sage, Cotton, and Basil. And then I was introducing Binky, Oak, and Daisy together. They, was a big group, and it turned into then only Binky and Oak, and unfortunately Oak passed away. So then I only had Binky, and I introduced Binky to Maya, Noelle, and Eve, which Binky was over 2 years old, and she has since passed, so now I only have the 3. But going back to that, I have introduced 2 times, and it's a very stressful time, at least for me. So I have a really hard time when I'm introducing, but since I've done it 2 times, I definitely have gotten better at it, and I feel like the next time that I do it, I feel like I won't have that stress that I usually do. But today's video is going over how to not be stressed when introducing mice, because it can be a stressful time. You don't want your animals to fight, obviously. My first item is not a item that's going to necessarily help you, but it is a thing to think about if so. I was super nervous my first time introducing the animals, especially because it was 3 versus 3, so it was a lot more nice to pay attention to, because what if Binky didn't like Basil? Yeah, but then all the other 4. So it was so stressful for that. So I ended up getting a baby monitor or whatever. I got a security camera for my mice to watch them, because on those security cameras, they're only like $20, and they have like a sensor motion or whatever, and they have like a sound detector, so that's like if your mice are squeaking, because obviously I cannot watch them 24/7, so I wanted to make sure that they were okay. So that's like the most craziest item that you don't necessarily need, but if you're crazy like me and stressed out about it so much, then that might be an item that you need. But here are the real items. So number 1, we are going to go with a bin cage. And I'm just saying bin cage because it's the easiest way. You need a tank where neither of those animals that you're introducing have lived in. So clean bedding, we'll get to the toys, barely any food. Make sure that both of those animals are fed before you introduce them, so there's nothing to fight over. But you want something that has neither scent of it. So I have a bin cage because that's what I use for my holding tank while I am cleaning cages. So that's number 1 on your list that you definitely need when it comes to this. Obviously, you don't have to use a bin cage. You can use an aquarium, but just make sure that neither of those animals have been in that cage. Next item is toys. So obviously your animals, yes, they are being introduced. That is a crazy time. They still need toys in their cage. I would definitely recommend adding a wheel. All my mice, absolutely, that was like the main thing that they did in their holding tank, because obviously they don't have any hanging toys in there, so they need something to do. So definitely add wheels, depending on how many mice you have, or maybe put 2 wheels in there. And the biggest thing is toys that they cannot fight in, get stuck in, fight over, things like that. So you obviously don't want to add in like a boredom breaker, because it's food. They're going to maybe fight over it, and this is a new thing for them. You don't know if they're going to fight over food or not. Or don't add in your mice's favorite food. So if you already own however many mice, or if you own a mouse and you know that their favorite thing is like peanuts, this was for mine, don't add that in if you are feeding them together, don't add that in. Pick them out because your mouse is going to really want that, and you don't know if your new mouse or whatever is going to also like that peanut. So careful of that. You just don't want anything to happen with fighting. You want to avoid fighting as much as you possible. Obviously, your mouse is not going to kill the other mouse. That mouse is not going to kill your mouse. It is okay, but obviously your mind kind of goes to that. You don't want them to get in a fight, period. But it is quite scary. So you want toys that are scent-free of either animal. Also, like bedding from each tank if they have been living separate and then introducing them. I would put in both of them with your fresh new bedding. So basically, like, I usually use cardboard since obviously it has no scent of either, and like cut a bunch of holes in it or whatever, and toilet paper tubes, things that like are not super crazy. Usually you're not going to keep your mice in that holding tank for very long unless they are fighting, but I personally have never had to keep my mice in my holding tank for very long. I think my first time I did it, it was 2 nights. The second time was only 1 night. So super fast, simple, easy. All right, now that is your setup for your mice cage. Now it comes to what happens if they do fight. Number biggest thing, luckily I've never had to do this, you want to have handy a dustpan holder thing. I'll pop it up on the screen. But you want one of those because that is probably the easiest way to break up the fight. You don't really want to use it with your hands. So I take a dustpan. Luckily I've never had to use this, but it's, you know, it's not super sharp and it's flat, has a handle, easily to like kind of break them up. And then when it comes to fighting, and if they are fighting, maybe take a break for them. I've never had to do this, so I really don't know how far, you know, I don't know the next step after they are fighting. But and I'm going to just say this because I wish I watched this video while introducing my mice, but don't be that scared. Just do it. Most of the times, and I've only had 2 experience, but most of the time they don't even care. They literally don't care at all. And it's fine. You know, it is super, super scary for them to, like, you know, get to smelling and stuff. And when it comes to the fighting, I don't really know what you have to do. You know, you probably have to just take them out, give them a little bit of a break, and then try it again, try it again, try it again. Because it's not going to be that serious. I really don't think that it will get that serious where it's like, no, they can never be together. And yeah, there probably is a mouse out there, he is a female or whatever, and they absolutely do not want another female with their cage, and that's totally possible. But I would try because it is a very necessary thing for other mice to have. They need other mice. You can't just be a lone mouse. Also, I let my mice stay in the holding tank just to see if they are fighting over the toys or not, because when it comes to then putting them in their permanent cage, all those hanging toys, you kind of want to make sure that they don't have any like enclosed hanging toys if they were fighting in the holding tank. So that's why I, you know, make sure that they haven't been fighting in that holding tank, so then when I transfer them, I know that it's okay. But if they were fine and if they were cuddling, like my first time, I went to check on them and they were all cuddling in the same box. It was so sweet because it like made my heart feel so good, because I was so stressed out to introduce them, that when I went and I checked on it and they were all together, it was just such a heartwarming feeling. But then if they were like that, I would recommend adding hammocks that have, you know, enclosed. It's like, my mice absolutely love hammocks and sleeping together. That is the video. I hope it helped you guys. If you guys have any like certain questions, just leave them down below and I will help, or I will try to help. Just saying, don't go too crazy. You got this. You can do it. It's not that crazy. Also, when I'm filming this, it's Christmas and I want to show you guys what I got. I got these cute, adorable pajama pants. They're obviously mushroom. And then I got also this shirt, which you guys couldn't really see in the video. And obviously I got a lot more, but just to show you guys a little bit. I hope everyone had a good Christmas. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it helped one person out there, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye guys.